In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 NHL games happening on December 19, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 NHL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Carolina Hurricanes versus Florida Panthers. Carolina heads to Florida in a matchup where both clubs are feeling pretty good about themselves. The Hurricanes sit in first place in the Eastern Conference, while the Panthers are sitting in 10th, which already gives this a bit of a big brother versus little brother feel. That said, Florida has been anything but soft lately. Carolina comes in riding a 5-game win streak and has taken 7 of its last 9 games away from home, which quietly says a lot about how well their structure travels. On the other side, Florida has stacked 6 wins in its last 7 and is currently on a 3-game heater on home ice. So, you are not looking at some lopsided situation here. Both teams are actually playing some excellent hockey right now. Here's the thing, when you strip away the noise and the streaks, the clearest separator between these two has been Carolina's defense. Over their past 5 games, the Hurricanes have allowed only 9 total goals, which is the kind of stretch that makes goalies look like superheroes. That is not just luck either. They are suffocating chances before they even get to the net, leading the entire NHL at only 24.2 shots against per game. It is easier to look calm in your own zone when the puck simply is not getting there very often. On top of that, Carolina ranks 25th in opponent power play opportunities, which means they just do not give teams many freebies with the extra skater. Now compare that to Florida, who sits 5th in the league with 110 opponent power play opportunities through 33 games, and you can feel how different the game script can be. Fewer penalties usually means fewer momentum swings against you, and in tight games, that matters more than people like to admit. All of that points to Carolina's cleaner, more disciplined game giving them the key edge here, even in a building where the Panthers have been hot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Carolina Hurricanes money line is our full game side pick. The Hurricanes are averaging 3.27 goals per game and cashing on 15.5% of their power play chances. That is solid, but not exactly video game stuff. Defensively, they are allowing 2.73 goals per game and killing 80.4% of opposing power plays, which keeps a lot of games in that 3-2 or 4-2 type range. You can almost feel how they like to squeeze the pace a bit, especially when they are protecting a lead. Florida's profile is close, but tilted a bit more towards special teams punch. The Panthers are putting up 3.18 goals per game and converting 19.1% of their power play opportunities, so when they get whistles to go their way, they can absolutely make you pay. On the back end, they are allowing 3.09 goals per game while killing 82.7% of opponent power plays. That mix hints at games that can have swings, but not necessarily constant trading of goals. When you put Carolina's shot suppression and discipline next to Florida's ability to score but tendency to send opponents to the power play more often, you end up with a matchup that leans toward a controlled, slightly tighter scoreboard rather than a full-on scoring festival. Honestly, it feels more like a game where every goal will feel heavy, not like a night where both teams skate into the mid-4s. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Vancouver Canucks versus New York Islanders. The Vancouver Canucks visit the New York Islanders on Friday in NHL action at UBS Arena, and it is one of those spots where both sides make a little bit of sense. You can absolutely talk yourself into the plus money with Vancouver because they have played some of their most confident hockey on the road this season. That kind of road form is always tempting when you are staring at an underdog. On top of that, the Canucks have taken 7 of the last 10 meetings against the Islanders, so there is some recent head-to-head history that tilts in their favor and makes you pause for a second. It is the classic situation where the numbers whisper one thing while the current form starts to shout something else. Here's the thing though, the Islanders are finally playing the kind of hockey people expected earlier in the year, and their defense has settled in nicely. When a team like that cleans up its own end, everything suddenly looks more stable, from the goaltender's body language to how confidently the blue line steps up in the neutral zone. The Islanders already have 10 home wins, and they have not dropped back-to-back games this month, which quietly signals that they are handling adversity better and stopping losing streaks before they even start. That kind of resilience is not flashy, but it matters, especially when you are laying a price that is not too steep. So while the Canucks are live, I am still more comfortable riding the hot hand with the Islanders, especially with their recent surge in defensive form. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Islanders money line is our full game side pick. The Vancouver Canucks are averaging 2.73 goals per game and are scoring 20% of their power play opportunities. That is a pretty respectable conversion rate with the man advantage, and when a power play hits at that clip, it can turn a quiet offensive night into a 3-goal effort in a hurry. Defensively, the Canucks are allowing 3.39 goals per game and are killing 73.4% of their opponent's power plays. That combination of a leaky goals against mark and a struggling penalty kill often invites extra scoring because mistakes do not get erased very often. On the other side, the New York Islanders are averaging 2.91 goals per game and are scoring 16.5% of their power play opportunities. They are not an offensive juggernaut, but they can absolutely chip away and get to their number, especially at home. Defensively, the Islanders are allowing 2.74 goals per game and are killing 82.3% of their opponent's power plays, which looks decent on paper, but does not fully shut the door on the idea of a higher scoring game when you factor in Vancouver's defensive issues. When you put this all together, you are looking at two teams that can both get on the board, with the Canucks' weaker defensive metrics nudging things toward a game where chances turn into goals at a steady rate. It feels less like a tight 2-to-1 grind and more like a matchup where both sides can contribute enough offense to push the final number past the projected total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. New Jersey Devils versus Utah Mammoth. The New Jersey Devils face the Utah Mammoth in a matchup where both sides are trying to steady the ship, even if one of them quietly looks a bit more settled than the other. The Devils sit at 19 to 14 to 1, and with only 3 wins in their last 10 games, they are just hanging on to the final wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. The Mammoth are 17 to 16 to 3, and with only 3 wins in their last 7, they have slipped out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. On paper, that sounds like shared frustration, and emotionally, it probably feels that way in both locker rooms. Utah's recent stretch tells a slightly different story though. They come into this one having won 3 of their last 4 games, and they have scored at least 4 goals in each of those wins, which is usually a sign that the top 6 is starting to click again and the confidence is back. The Mammoth are 8 to 5 to 1 at home this season, which is solid enough to make opponents a little uncomfortable, while the Devils are 9 to 8 to 0 on the road, which is basically fine, but not scary. New Jersey has been alternating wins and losses across their last 6 games, and they have allowed 2 goals or fewer in 3 straight, so it is not like their game has fallen apart, it is just not stringing together yet. What makes this matchup interesting is that both teams sit on exactly 37 points, and their home and road splits are almost mirror images, so you do not get an obvious schedule or travel edge to lean on. Instead, you have to look at how they are getting those results. Utah has been better both offensively and defensively than New Jersey lately, and they also have the stronger penalty kill, which matters a lot in tight games where one bad penalty can swing momentum. Honestly, when one team is scoring 4 goals in most of its recent wins and also suppressing chances more effectively, that combination at home is hard to ignore. With the Mammoth in better current form and the Devils still trying to shake off a 3-7 stretch over their last 10, I like Utah to handle their business on home ice. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Mammoth money line is our full game side pick. The Devils should be able to limit the Mammoth attack with Luke Hughes, Brendan Dillon, and the rest of the defensive group jumping on loose pucks and forcing turnovers in their own zone. That kind of pressure can make an opponent's cycle game feel rushed, especially if Jacob Markstrom is set behind them, squaring up shots and swallowing pucks instead of leaving juicy rebounds. When a goalie is reading plays well, even routine saves can take the life out of an opposing bench. On the other side, Utah has a pretty clear picture of what they want to do defensively too. They will look to clamp down on a Devils offense that has managed only 3 goals in its last 2 games, and they have Karl Vejmelka coming off a start where he allowed just 1 goal and turned away everything else. With Ian Cole, Mikhail Sergachev, John Marino, and the rest of the Mammoth blue line stepping into lanes, forcing turnovers in the neutral zone and in their own end, they can make New Jersey work for every controlled entry. That kind of layered defense, with an informed goalie behind it, tends to squeeze the life out of odd-man rushes and second chances. When both teams are leaning into structure like that, the game often settles into a tighter rhythm, with a lot of blocked shots, cleared rebounds, and more time spent battling along the boards than trading end-to-end rushes. You might still see short bursts of offense, especially if either side gets a power play, but with both defensive groups expected to step up and both goaltenders in a good place right now, this sets up more like a low-scoring tug of war than a free-flowing scoring show. That is the kind of environment where every goal feels huge and the scoreboard tends to stay under control. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Winnipeg Jets versus Colorado Avalanche. The Winnipeg Jets face the Colorado Avalanche in a matchup where the trajectories could not feel much different right now. The Jets sit at 15-16-2, and with only 3 wins in their last 10 games, they own the 3rd worst record in the Central Division and probably feel like every night is a bit of a grind. The Avalanche are 24-2-7 and come in on a 3-game win streak, holding the best record in the division and in the entire league. So even before you touch the deeper numbers, you get that sense of a contender hosting a team that is still trying to figure itself out. The Avalanche have been the class of the league this season, combining the most dangerous offense with the stingiest defense and winning by an average margin of 1.82 goals per game. That kind of average spread is not normal. It is what you see when a team constantly tilts the ice and rarely takes a night off. They are 5-1 in their last 6 games, which reinforces that their recent form matches their overall record. On the other side, the Jets are still struggling even with Connor Hellebuyck back in the crease, sitting at 1-5 in their last 6 and looking more like they are trying to survive than dictate. Road underdogs can absolutely surprise, but here you have a deep, confident Colorado team at home, rolling on both sides of the puck, facing a Jets team that has been stuck in neutral. Honestly, unless Winnipeg suddenly flips a switch, it is very reasonable to expect the host to control most of this game and keep that gap between the two clubs obvious on the scoreboard. As our first pick for this matchup, the Colorado Avalanche to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Jets have allowed only 5 goals in their last 3 games, which suggests that even while the results have been frustrating, the structure in front of Hellebuyck has tightened. With Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello, and the rest of the blue line creating turnovers in the defensive zone and limiting clean looks, they can at least slow down the pace and keep shot quality under control. That style, where the goalie is asked to make big saves but not chaotic ones, usually pulls totals downward. On the other side, the Avalanche have allowed only 7 goals in their last 3 games, so their commitment away from the puck has been just as clear. They should be able to clamp down on a Jets offense that has managed only 2 goals across its last 2 outings. With Cale Makar, Devin Toews, Josh Manson, and the rest of the defensive unit forcing turnovers in all 3 zones, they can choke off entries before Winnipeg even sets up. Behind them, Scott Wedgwood, who has surrendered only 7 goals in his last 4 starts, has been more than steady, which gives Colorado the confidence to play a calm, structured game rather than a pure track meet. Put that combination together, and you get a matchup that leans toward tight checking, fewer odd-man rushes, and long stretches where both teams are fighting for inches instead of trading chances. It feels much more like the kind of night where each goal is hard-earned and the total stays on the modest side. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Dallas Stars versus Anaheim Ducks. The Dallas Stars head into the Honda Center to meet the Anaheim Ducks on Friday. And this one feels like a classic spot where your head and your gut can argue a little. On paper, the Ducks have a few things working for them. They have the rest advantage. They are at home where they have 11 wins, and they already tagged the Stars for a 7-5 win on the road last month. So if you are looking for reasons to grab the home side, they are right there. That previous meeting especially can stick in your mind because when a team hangs 7 on you in your own building, it is hard to ignore it the next time you see them. Here's the thing though, we have been riding the Stars quite a bit this season, and it has treated us pretty well. Dallas is one of the hotter teams in the league, and they look like a group that is clicking in all 3 zones, not just squeaking by. When a team is rolling like that, with depth scoring and steady goaltending, stepping in front of them at a reasonable number feels a bit like standing on train tracks and hoping the timing works out. Honestly, as long as the prices stay fair, the Stars are not a team you feel eager to fade right now. To flip over to the Ducks, you would want a clear reward, some real bang for your buck with that underdog price. And instead, we are basically looking at a near pick'em. In that kind of market, the hotter, more balanced team gets the nod for me. As our first pick for this matchup, the Dallas Stars moneyline is our full game side pick. The Dallas Stars are averaging 3.34 goals per game and are scoring on 32.1% of their power play opportunities. That power play clip is no joke. It means that when they get a chance with the extra skater, there is a decent chance the puck ends up in the back of the net. Defensively, the Stars are allowing 2.6 goals per game and are killing 82.9% of their opponents' power plays, which quietly points to a team that can both score and shut things down when needed. Games involving that kind of profile often come down to whether they lean into their structure or let things open up too much. On the other side, the Anaheim Ducks are averaging 3.44 goals per game and are scoring 17.7% of their power play opportunities, so they can absolutely score, and they are not just leaning on one line to do it. Defensively, the Ducks are allowing 3.29 goals per game and are killing 76.3% of their opponents' power plays, which is a bit shakier and can sometimes inflate scores when the penalty kill has a rough night. That said, when you combine Dallas's strong defensive numbers and penalty kill with Anaheim's ability to score but also their vulnerability when they do not manage the puck well, you can easily see a game where adjustments kick in, the better defensive structure takes over for long stretches, and chances get tightened up. Even with both offenses capable, it is not hard to picture a script where special teams do not completely explode the scoreboard and the final total lands on the lower side rather than turning into a wild, free skating goal fest. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.